as soon as I moved in with my father, then I started doing sports and doing well in school, things like that. Baseball, basketball. My dad wanted basketball players. He played basketball and football, but we weren't very coordinated or athletic or fast. And then I finally started to wrestle, and that was actually something I could do and compete at. I actually wrestled all the way through college. I was a 4-time college All-American, a 1-time national champ.
Oh, awesome. And what did you study in college?
I have 2 degrees actually. One is general studies and the other is industrial and environmental health and safety. Oh man, it was just an out for everything. I could burn off a lot of steam and just, finally to be good at something. It made school easier and having friends and finding friends easier and fitting in. It created a family and a bond with a bunch of people that I still stay in touch with today that had great influences on me when I was younger. Actually, I watched one of my friends fight in a smoker fight at a bar, and after that, then I started kind of becoming interested in it. Terry Edom, he's a UFC fighter. He fought Matt Grice in the UFC, and I wrestled with Matt Grice when I was younger, and Matt Grice was thrashing Terry. And Terry's from Liverpool, England. Terry ends up catching Matt in a guillotine and winning the fight. He asked Matt where he could come train to wrestle, and Matt Grice gave him my college coach's number. And Terry Edom came from Liverpool, England, and stayed at Lebec Community College and did a full wrestling season, the whole college wrestling season. And I trained MMA with him for the first time, and he told me it was something that I could do, and I just kind of stuck with it after that. I had 2 weeks of actual MMA training for my first and only amateur fight. I went to TCB Fight Factory in Arkansas, and they taught me an overhand left, because I'm left-handed, and right to a takedown. So no matter what, overhand left, takedown. Your overhand left misses, shoot a takedown. Overhand left, takedown. So in my fight, I got pretty nervous, and my buddy who got me the fight just told me, just think of it as a wrestling match with punches. And as soon as he said that, all my nerves kind of just disappeared. I was like, oh, that's how I always wanted to wrestle anyway. So we go out, I throw overhand left, and surprisingly it hits him perfect right on the jaw. He gets wobbled, so I say, I'm going to stand and box with him now since I hit him. Well, he tries to take me down. As soon as he takes me down, I guillotine him. So my one and only amateur fight was 28 seconds, I think. And I try to just think of it just like practice. I'm going there, I have fun. I have the time of my life in here in the gym, training every day, and I do the same in the cage. I picture it as a chance to get better and an opportunity to make some money. And it's all fun for me. Nothing serious. I'm not angry. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to win a big bonus and get paid. I mean, I'm quiet. I don't say a lot. I try to keep to myself. But yeah, I definitely don't start trouble. I don't. But mostly I'm here at the gym or at the house just relaxing. So I don't do much else.
What kind of person do you respect?
Honest people. Someone who takes care of their family. Looks after themselves, after their friends. Pretty much most fighters that I meet, I look up to. A lot of pro fighters that I've seen, they look rough and tough in the cage and on TV, and then you meet them in real life, and they're respectful, they're outgoing, they're caring. Some of them not so much, and I didn't notice that until my first UFC fight when people were coming out asking for autographs, and some of the guys were happy to sign it, and other guys would just run right past them. But it's a little different. You got guys cutting weight and people in your face all the time asking for stuff. I can understand where they can cross the line between being a dick and a nice guy. But I think most people who get in the octagon typically are good, decent men. Mm-hmm. And I look up to pretty much anybody who can do it as an amateur level or a pro level. My wife, she's a professional fighter also, and she's taken some bad lumps, and she never been in a confrontation outside of the cage in her whole life. Never a fist fight or even a pushing somebody else until she got in the cage and fought for the first time. So I think it takes a man to do that, and she's a woman, but still, mm-hmm. in the same sense, she has a lot of heart and it takes a lot to get in there. So I look up to anybody who can step in there and face that fear. It's so much easier to fight myself. I don't get nervous. I know I'm going to have fun. It is horrible for me to watch her. I get nervous, almost sick feeling it.
What are you most proud of in your life?
Oh, man. I graduated college. I got in the UFC. I was a national champion wrestler. I got outstanding wrestler in the nation. But I don't know, being a good son to my father, he's my hero, so whatever I can do to make him happy, that makes me happy. So, and he'd be happy with me doing anything. So he didn't make a lot of money, but when it came to wrestling, I always had the best wrestling shoes. I could go to wrestling camps for months at a time, and I came back from a 28-day wrestling camp, and he was eating crackers with ketchup on it, and I've been at a wrestling camp for 30 days, 4 practices a day, eating 3 gourmet meals a day that he couldn't afford. So just things like that just pushed me to want to be good for him. I didn't even want to graduate college because I knew fighting was what I wanted to do at a certain point. And I have 2 degrees now. I'm doing absolutely nothing with it. But the only reason why I stuck with it is because I promised him that I would. And, I'm glad that I did. And he's happy that I did, whether I ever get a job or not. So he's a good guy.